What's up, everybody? Riki here from Eccentric Arcade. Finally doing this video update. This is the long-awaited Q&A thing. So let's go ahead and kick things off. And we'll start off with the first question. If I had to peg anything as the craziest moment on the tour, I would have to say it was the final show, because if you weren't there, I mean, you can't even really explain it. It was just, you had to be there. I couldn't even begin to put it into words, but I had to say, if anything, that would be hands down the craziest moment on the tour. Well, with our new drummer, not too many people really know who he is yet. He's been with us for the whole tour, and he's a longtime friend of ours, but not too many people got much chance to really get to know much about him, because, I mean, we pretty much hired him right before the tour started. I mean, we had enough time to rehearse and get everything together, but we didn't really have time to introduce him to people. I'm not going to compare him to Brian, because, I mean, it's apples and oranges, really. It's two totally different styles. Brian was more into more newer music. He was more influenced by, like, Metallica and Slipknot, stuff like that. Zach is very much more old school. He's very much more into like Boston and Toto, people like that. So he brings more of that kind of feel to it. Everyone that's skeptical about whether or not Zach can hold his own, you'll find out. If you saw him on tour, then you know he can handle it. If you haven't, then you'll find out when he's on the new album. For those who may not know, your tour writer is like, your list of demands, basically. We're not crazy with ours, we're not like Van Halen, where we need a brandy glass full of brown M&Ms or else we're not going to play. Everyone likes their things backstage, or, on the bus. I always like to have bottled water, and I like to have Dr. Pepper. That's if I'm going to drink soda. It's all about the DP. And then Marcus likes to have Mountain Dew backstage and Gatorade, microwave popcorn, basic things like that. We like to have, like, deli trays backstage, just something. If we're ever in an area where there's a Sonic nearby, there will be Sonic backstage. That's the one thing that we gotta have if it's nearby. At least for me, because I'm a Sonic fanatic. And like Zach and Fernie like to have like Bud Light and stuff like that backstage. Aaron hurt his ankle pretty much right away on tour, which kind of sucked. It wasn't like he did anything wild and crazy. It's not like he was trying to jump from the hotel bed out the window and land in the pool or anything. No, I think it was he got out of the shower and he slipped a little and kind of twisted his ankle. But I mean, it was okay. The show went on. Spent the day, like half the day in the hospital, just making sure he didn't break anything or tear anything. So he was hobbling around a little bit. And he got some canes, his little pimp canes he'd be out there with, and he continued to rock it out. I mean, nothing stops that guy, so. I'm probably going to give it to Ghost Train, because that's just such a great opener. I mean, we would open almost every show with that, and it's just such a great kind of this slow build, and it just so that song is, I loved doing that song just for the album, but it's even better playing it live. We'd like to take Exclamation, as I like to call them out there. We've been kicking around, some ideas for stuff we'd like to do in the future. And next time we'd probably like to do something with a couple people. Actually, maybe take some of the acts from Raw out there. Maybe take like Lady Annabelle out there with us. Maybe take Solomon X Lambert, bring him out there with us. Just do something a little different. But we're not quite sure yet. Yes, actually, we were recording and also filming on a couple of the gigs. That'll be like a 3 disc kind of a thing. We're hoping, we're kind of kicking around that idea. I'm doing 1 disc that'll be our set, 1 disc that'll be Fate's set, and then 1 disc. We also were recording the final show in Toronto, so that'll be the final disc. Will be that show, the big collaborative jam, and then we were filming for the final show and in New York as well. So that one will probably just be like a 2 disc thing, because it will fit like our set and Fate's set on 1 disc, and then the second disc will be the final show. We'll be heading into the studio for that soon. We're actually getting ready to release something soon. It's not like a regular album. It'll just be like more like an EP, and that's our new song, which is called Life Theme. And we'll be releasing that here pretty soon, in the next week or two. And that's gonna have the actual studio version on there, and then we'll have version that we did while we were out on tour as well. So it'll have the studio version and the live version. And then once we actually head into the studio, we've got some new stuff we've been working on. We don't have a projected date for that at all yet. But we're gonna head in soon, and we're gonna work our butts off to get that done. Now this is a great question. That's why we're ending with this question. And it comes from our own Xander Griff Miggs. So it's always nice to, not only get questions from the fans, but to find out that your fans are also other great musicians like Mr. Xander Griff Miggs. We don't really do anything that we can't recreate live as well as we do on the album. So we don't get caught up in that where, we have a song that's got all these crazy effects and, everything's auto-tuned and there's all like these synthesizers and all this stuff going on it, and there's a didgeridoo being played inside an old refrigerator, which is run through a synthesizer, which is played in a blender, and then the Blue Man Group remixes it. We don't want to do anything like that. So we try to keep it simple, but eccentric. And that's pretty much what we strive to do. And we don't want to disappoint. We want to give people a good show. And I know that there's nothing worse than going to see a show and wanting to hear one of your favorite songs and having it not sound anything like it does on the album. And that sucks. Well, that's going to do it for this Q&A session. So thanks to everybody for sending your questions. If you guys were on the tour, hope you had a great time. If not, come see us again next time we're out there. Get the live CD and the DVD when that comes out so you can see what you were missing. And thanks again, everybody. We'll see you out there.